Hello, friend. I have a story to tell you today. It's the story of my daughter's life. She died of lung cancer at the age of 39, and I have written a book which I think is helpful to us today in the very difficult circumstances in which we live. It brings hope and encouragement and a sense that all is well. I hope you enjoy it. This time, when Shirley phones, she's sitting in her silver-grey Beamer in the gathering dark outside her house. It must be autumn 2012, because there are piles of caramel-coloured leaves all around her. I have no idea how long she's been there in the shadows. "Oh, Mum," she chokes out, "I feel so terrible." There's such heartbreaking sadness in her voice. "I just can't go in." She's sobbing now, and she really means it. This is crisis. She slumps behind the wheel, shoulders heaving and tears flowing freely. "Oh, Mum, it's so empty. The house is so dark. There's no one there." Her front windows glint alien black in the semi-darkness. "I don't want to go in. I can't go in. How can I? I'm so alone, Mum." Pushed by pain, the sobs crescendo. "I just can't do this anymore." Sickened beyond measure, I wait. As I wait, I ache. Compassion and searing sadness struggle up inside me. I feel gutted. How hard I pray. Later, Shirley manages to whisper, "I hate my house. I hate my horrible life. I hate everything." All around her, neighbours are inside, lights on, glad to be home after the day's work. They fill up with pizza, chatter and TV. I pray, absolutely incoherently, and wait. Eventually it's a little quieter. "My darling, I'm so sorry," I soothe. "Tell me more. Take your time. Just take your time. I'm not going anywhere." All sorts of things spill out. She looks at her life, so many broken dreams, and so many sides to them. "My life's dysfunctional, Mum," she cries. "What's the point of going on when I feel so lousily all the time?" Again, and as so often of late, she asks, "Is there any hope?" Every time that pushes my panic button, and I fill with dread, because it sounds truly suicidal. My desperation is complete. How can I, still in Cape Town, rescue her? "Talk, Thigh, talk," I tell myself. "You can at least do that." I try gently to comfort, warm and soothe her. I see this rescue as a series of steps I have to walk her through. I want her to get to the point where she can respond. How I wish there was somebody there, near to where she lives, whom I can call. But alarmingly there's no one but me. I sense that we're not there yet. Shirley's still freaking out. So I keep talking, encouraging, telling her I love her, and we'll get through this. When I feel that the time is right, I talk her into taking her key and getting out of the car. Then I talk her up the path to her front door. Finally we get the door open. It always sticks. And she's in. And the lights are on. "Phone me again in half an hour," I say, "and let's see how you are then." The phone call is as much for me as for her. While I wait, I try to find comfort. Rather pathetically, the only thought that comforts me a little is the thought that at least the cats are there, fur soft and soothing under Shirley's every stroke. When Shirley phones, an incredibly long time later, she sounds a lot better. It's clear the immediate crisis is over. Relief is immense, but deep foreboding shadows the future. Much of the time the beautiful Beamer is just plain dirty. The dust coat thickens so much that someone decides to write on it, "Please wash me soon." He adds a sad round face. Nothing happens. So the distressed artist adds a date. When he gets to adding the third date, Shirley angrily takes the long-suffering vehicle off to the car wash. Thankful to see the change, her next-door neighbour Mark comes across as she parks. "Wow, what a difference," he calls out. Now, what about the lawn?" he mutters. Inside, the kitchen tells the same story. Dishes stand about. The dishwasher fills very slowly as Shirley's not really doing any cooking regularly. The grocery cupboard is empty. That's when toilet paper gets rationed. The post overflows the basket beside the door. Dead pot plants collapse in despair. The cause of death? Always ravaging, unrelenting thirst. Every now and then Shirley gets into clean-up mode. "Oops, here's another dead soldier," she mutters, as she tosses out tired, half-empty jars of mouldy pastes, pesto, and spreads from her fridge. When she does do a bit of cleaning, she actually feels better. She does titter when she finds a dried-out mouse behind her desk. But it's not often that a clean-up spree makes it up the stairs. So the increasing mound of clothes wrinkles and crinkles and creases behind the bedroom door. As 2012 progresses, Shirley's life spins out of control. The breakup with Scott the year before, her most promising relationship yet, has a lot to do with it. She plunges into deep depression. "Thi," Nick tells me over the phone, "Shirley keeps turning up for work really late. I text and phone, but day after day she arrives bleary-eyed and half asleep, and very late. I take her for strong coffee and a talk, and only then can we get to work." Charles is very distressed too. "Mum, I'm battling to sleep. I hate that I'm going to toss and turn, so I put off going to bed. I read, mostly watch TV, sometimes until 3 in the morning. Trouble is, when I do fall asleep, I can't wake up. The alarm goes, but I can't get up. I'm always late for work, but I don't know what to do." Today she's too depressed to get out of bed. Nick tells me she doesn't know this, but they're talking of firing her. I'm not surprised. I've been thinking that too, and of how that will devastate her. Fortunately, it doesn't happen, but Shirley's despair deepens. Nick also confides. She's such a confused little girl in a woman's body. She comes round to my place in Henley full of smiles. After 10 minutes, her face crinkles up and the tears just flow. She pours out her troubles, always lots of them, and eventually comes to a stop. At this point, she's feeling much better. We drink some red wine together, and I take back my soaked hanky. Next time she visits, it's more of the same. I always feel I need to support her by building a scaffold around her. She's so brittle and fragile. More and more, Shirley fails to keep appointments. She falls asleep instead of meeting Joe and Katie for curry at the pub. They phone her. She apologizes, says she's coming, and falls asleep again. They get so hungry and mad that they order and tuck in without her. She doesn't come to band practice, although she leads a worship team on Sundays. After being extremely patient, Eileen suggests, as kindly as she can, that Shirley step down for a while. "I think you need to take some time out to look after yourself, so take a break for now." Still, her despair deepens. She's due to see Chris, but cancels. She's down to take a turn on Saturday morning as a member of a church prayer team. She just doesn't pitch. Worse, at times, she's due to lead the Saturday worship, and she just doesn't turn up for that either. No excuse, no apology, and no Shirley. Grrr, wails Chris. She writes, "It seems like Shirls is in such deep despair that she's saying, 'No one loves me, so I might as well ruin my life anyway.' I hate to say this, but she's her own worst enemy. From the concern I'm hearing from mature, grounded Christians at the church, she's not helping herself, and they're saying they can't use her in ministry, even though she has so many gifts, until she's back on even keel." I sense the growing frustration and annoyance. As Shirley's depression deepens, her faith fades, God vanishes, and she can't find him anywhere. Actually, she's not able to look too hard. Clearly, all of life's gone steeply downhill, and it's spinning further and further out of control. For Shirley, the depression is so deep now that she can't hide it anymore. That people know singes her soul, and knowing how much this must distress her brings me fresh anguish. Every time she blows it, she sickens with more angst. On her Red Sea holiday, best holiday ever, Shirley reverts to her old belief that finding a man is the answer. "I'm so cross," she tells me, "my life's the pits, and what does God do about it? I'm mega hurt and frustrated. So now I'm having this big fight with him. Why can't I feel him here? Where is he?" She's come back to believing God needs to do the right thing, or else. The disappointment is huge. So is her angry reaction. She tells Katie, "God and I are not talking at the moment." When Katie discovers Shirley will be alone on Christmas Day, she's quick to ask, "Why don't you come and join us for Christmas dinner? You know my family, and it'll be fun. Amelia's so excited about the size of the heap of presents under the tree already. Go figure what's going on in my 4-year-old's little head." Shirley doesn't even reply to Katie. Alone in her lounge, she watches the rain. Then she notices that Chloe Cat has left black hair and muddy paw prints all over her white couch. "Oh, damn," she says, and a bit more. Annoyance lingers for a moment, only to be overtaken by the ache that's always there, familiar, rather like an old friend, except that this is no friend at all. Tight-lipped, she attacks her Christmas tree. She rips the electric plug from its socket. The flashing lights die. Baubles bounce across the carpet. She bundles tinsel and trinkets into a plastic bag. She breaks the reluctant tree in half. She wrestles the pieces into a blue garbage bag, and the cats cower in the corners. Still tight-lipped, she flings open the front door. Unnoticed, Christmas lights twinkle in the neighbouring, warm, inviting windows. But she marches the offending decorations through the cold. Round the corner, she tosses them into the garbage bin. Wet from the incessant rain, she hurries back. Cold drops trickle down her neck, and she slams the front door. It's Christmas 2012, and she's furious with God. I've been reading from my book, Mum, Please Help Me Die, the story of my daughter Shirley's battle with cancer. If you'd like to get a copy of the book, please contact me. You can do that at the following email address, thai@mumpleasehelpmedie.co.za. I hope you'll be with me again next week. Goodbye.